at the South Pole. I guess the bonus part about being on my cell phone is maybe I can try and take you guys outside, but I'll tell you a little bit about where I am and what I'm doing first. So I am working with the IceCube Neutrino Observatory, which is here at the South Pole, and we're trying to do the upgrade. So this is a detector that was built and completed in 2011, and it's trying to find these really tiny little particles. They're called neutrinos. They've often been called the ghost particle because they're so hard to see. And we use the Antarctic ice cap as like a lens and the Earth as a filter to get rid of the low energy neutrinos, and we want the really high energy ones. These high energy neutrinos are coming to us from outer space, like black holes, supernova, active galactic nuclei, pulsars, quasars, all sorts of things in outer space, well and truly beyond our solar system, that are creating really high energy particles. And we can see them at the South Pole. I mean, we can see them here, but they're also traveling everywhere. Did you guys know that there's neutrinos traveling through you right now? Like 50 trillion of them every single second? Crazy. So they're all over the place. But you'd think with something that's going through us all the time, through the whole entire planet, we'd have a good time seeing them. But that's not the case. They're really hard to see. And this is because they have no electrical charge and an extremely small mass. So they're very hard to detect. That's why we had to make the biggest and best neutrino detector in the world. And that's what IceCube is. And so that was completed in 2011, got some really good data, such good data that we were like, ooh, I think we want to make it better. So that's what we're doing, is improving our telescope. And we're adding 7 more strings with over 700 new instruments and some very special kinds of instruments inside the Antarctic ice, with the other 5,000 detectors that are already in there. So we will have an even bigger, better butterfly net to capture these neutrinos. And some of the detectors that we're putting in, they're kind of like, well, actually, the old ones were like all basketball-sized detectors with one photomultiplier tube, which is basically an instrument that can take one single particle of light and turn it into a lot of particles of light. So these ones have more of those on them and better electronics and more intricate fabrications in there. So they'll be able to see in the ice better. And some of them are going to be able to tell us more about the ice properties so that we get better data. It's been described as like saying we can put a pair of glasses on our data and fine tune the focus of it so we get even better data, not only the stuff that we're going to get, but the stuff that we already have. So all of our previous data over the past 15 years is going to get even better. So that's what I'm here doing. And my particular role amongst the 50 odd people that are here down at the South Pole, well, there's 180 people at the South Pole right now, but 50 are from the IceCube collaboration, and I'm a safety officer. So my job is to make sure that everybody gets home to their cats and their dogs and their gardens and their kids and their grandkids and anything that they miss in the world in the same number of pieces that they came here with, all their fingers and all their toes. So that means that sometimes I make sure that they have a helmet on their head, or they have the right eye protection, or they have hearing protection, or maybe they need to have a special harness on to make sure that they don't fall into the hole. Sometimes my job is just making sure that people have enough water and snacks and coffee so that they can do their jobs and focus on the task at hand. But that's what safety does, all sorts of things. And oh, you know what else I do? I help check with the fire department to make sure that we're up to fire code. We did a little bit of that this week. And like, I make sure that all the ladders are working and safe and there's no cracks. Like, I had to throw out a ladder this year because there was a big crack in it, and I'm like, ooh, that's not good. Or some of the pieces of gear that people might use to hold themselves up, or tie up gear, some of that gets worn, and I go through that and look at it and say, I don't know that that would hold your weight. We got to get rid of that. So I make sure that the gear that people is using is working for them, because some of it's really critical. It's life safety gear. So that's part of my job, is making sure that everything is as safe as it can be. It's a big deal drilling 1.5 miles down into the ice. So some parts of the job are inherently dangerous, but we do our best and we mitigate them. And oh, so another thing I did this week was going over emergency procedures and be like, what do you do if there's a fire? What do you do if this were to happen? If that were to happen? If the reel were to crash? So that everybody has an idea of like, okay, yeah, I know where to go. I know where the first aid kits are. I know where the muster point is. I know what to do. How are we doing there, Jesse? Do we have any questions on what's going on down here?
So just a note for all our YouTube and an audience live on StreamYard, Sarah can't hear any of us and she can't share her screen either. So we're all flying by the seat of our pants here at the South Pole. But if you want to share questions in the chat, please do. Write those questions on the side and we'll pass along as many questions as we can once we bring Sarah back, just so you have a bit of the context.
Balmy minus 30 degrees Celsius, which is like t-shirt weather for South Pole, because in the wintertime, it can get cold as minus 70 Celsius, or in non-scientific units, Fahrenheit, it can be minus 100 Fahrenheit. That's so cold. So to have it be like minus 15 Fahrenheit is like really great. Oh, okay. We have a question. Are there any dangerous moments out on the ice? Absolutely. That's why I have a job, is because it's part of my work to make sure that the danger is as minimized as possible. But we are working in the harshest continent in the world. It's the highest, driest, coldest, windiest place. There is nothing that is alive here. At the center of the continent, there's no penguins. So yes, it's a pretty difficult place to live and work and even breathe. There's not a lot of oxygen up here. We're at altitude 9,000 feet. So yes, there's a lot of danger and a lot of risk being here, but that's why they hired me to help make sure that it is less of a risk. And the people that I work with are really safety conscious and thinking about what they're doing and going slow and steady. And they listen to what I say and they have their own safety good ethic as well. So it is a dangerous place, but we're doing the best we can to get home safe. More questions. What's my favorite part of my job? I just love everything. I love the people that I'm working with. They are amazing. And I'm just so excited to be here supporting science at the bottom of the world. It is absolutely my dream job. I have supported science in other capacities, but I'm more directly involved with IceCube, which is the project that I did my master's with. And I finished that in 2011. So I went to the original IceCube completion party. And so, yeah, it's just my dream to be a part of this international organization. That's probably it, actually, that this is the part I love the most about Antarctica, is there's so many different people from different countries. There was one person the other day who was commenting that they were part of the installation team, and there was 5 different people in their group, 5 different countries. We have so many different nationalities represented down here at the bottom of the world. What do I eat every day? That is hard to tell you, because yesterday I ate a strawberry, and that is like blowing up my whole entire food aspect, because we don't have a lot of freshies down here, like none. So my friend just came from Christchurch and she brought me a punnet of strawberries, and I've been running around the station being like, hey, come over here, do you want some? And I opened up this punnet of strawberries and people were like, oh wow. So we eat lots of dried food, dehydrated, frozen, tinned food. So there's not a lot of fresh things. And that's normally what I eat every day. But yesterday I ate a strawberry. Okay, so Da Vinci Academy, you have a question. They said it's cold, this sounds silly, but on a practical sense, what keeps them safe, warm, and dry? Clothes, particularly wool clothes. So like right now I have on this nice big warm wool jersey that my mom knit for me, actually, and it's really nice and warm. I have a base layer that's also merino wool from New Zealand. So I stay away from things that are cotton, and I have wool layers, and that helps keep me warm and dry. And I wear a balaclava and hat and sunglasses, right? Because it's super sunny, you have to have your sunglasses on. So having wool layers is what I use. Okay, so next one is from the Rise Institute in grade 9. I love getting these questions. It really makes me excited. What's the hardest part of your job? The hardest part of my job is not working. I really love what I'm doing, and we have operations that are going around the clock 24/7, and I need to sleep And I have a hard time doing that because I just want to be there always, all the time. And I have to just trust that everybody else is doing their job. And I know they are, but I still just get so excited and I really want to know. Like we started drilling last night and it was kind of in the middle of the night and I may have stayed up too late because I really wanted to be there. So I'd say the hardest part of my job is not working. Oh, you want to know about the wildlife at the South Pole or surrounding areas and the extreme environments? Yeah, so the South Pole is pretty barren. We are in the middle of the polar plateau and it is flat and white and boring. And I said the warmest temperatures that we're getting are about -30 Celsius. So it's very difficult for anything to survive. There's no penguins and there's no polar bears. You guys know that, right? No polar bears at the South Pole. So there's not much life. We did last week have a skua, which is kind of like the Antarctic seagull, and it went flying overhead. I didn't see it, but somebody took a picture of it and posted it in the community board because they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's a South Pole Bird Watch group. We saw a skua." But that usually only happens like once a summer. So there's really no wildlife here. But in other parts, when I've worked in different places, on the coast, that's where all the penguins are. So I've seen penguin colonies that have been like, oh, thousands, tens of thousands of penguins. And oh my gosh, does anybody tell you how smelly they are? Because they stink. And I have seen whales. I've had minke whales come up to my Zodiac and look me in the eye, and it's like, oh my goodness. I have seen so many Cape petrels and snow petrels and terns and all the different birds. The albatross. Oh, but that's over on the peninsula part of Antarctica where it's much warmer and a little bit further north, like 66 degrees rather than 90. More questions. Great. What do I miss about my home? Everything. I mostly miss the people. Yeah, I miss my friends and I miss my family. I miss trees. I miss dogs. I miss cats. I miss horses. I miss smells. I miss flowers. I miss candles. I miss going to the grocery store and buying produce. I miss avocados. And I guess I got a strawberry last week, so that was really lovely. I miss the sun going down every day, right? Because it's always up here. I miss the night sky and the stars and the moon, and it's just so beautiful and calm and quiet at night. I think the best part about Antarctica is leaving it because then you get to go back to all the things that you miss. Sometimes it feels more like you're an astronaut than you are on this planet. Rise Institute, what do you want to know? What's the most surprising thing that you've learned since going to Antarctica? The most surprising thing. You know what I learned recently that is really cool? The United States Geological Survey is partnering with IceCube, and this has been a multi-year long collaboration, but we are helping to install sensors from the USGS that will study earthquakes. And I didn't know that these sensors are better off further deeper in the earth, and that the rotation of the earth, which is epicentered around the South Pole, makes Antarctica the best place to detect earthquakes. I didn't know that. So in some of the holes that we're drilling, we're going to install 2 sensors that will help improve earthquake detection and tsunami prediction around the world. And that is such a beautiful collaboration and something I didn't know about. So we had that lecture on a Thursday night. We have science lectures here so we can learn about the different science projects. And I didn't really realize that the South Pole was one of the best places to study the world's earthquakes. Pretty cool. Every Antarctic explorer we've had on talks about how smelly penguins they are. Yes, everybody thinks they're cute from the photos, and then you see them in person, and you're like, ooh, they eat fish. They poop fish. That's why it smells like fish. Okay, another from Da Vinci Academy. What sampling is being done near the ice cube to better understand our natural world, especially impacts about climate change? Can you speak a bit more about your partnerships besides neutrinos? So there's lots of work being done in Antarctica about climate change, but IceCube is not doing a whole lot with that. Some of our studies are understanding glaciology, but we are not doing the ice core drilling like paleoclimatology. There are other organizations that are doing that. We are mostly focused on these neutrinos and space, but there certainly are lots of projects out there that are doing climate change. And something that's happening here at the South Pole is every day twice a day. The meteorology team launches a balloon, and that gathers weather. You gather weather every day for several decades, and you have climate. So we can see how the climate is changing. And the NOAA observatory here has sampling procedures so that they can gather little vials of air and understand how many parts per million there are of carbon. And we have the cleanest air on Earth because there's no people around to pollute it. This is also the least polluted place on the planet. So we are gathering that data every single day here at the South Pole. Some other scientists are, and they're using that to understand how these changes are happening. And so then we can predict models and tell people like, ooh, you need to cut down on your carbon emissions. Next one, can you give us a tour of your facility and give us some of the gadgets and contraptions scientists use? I can try and take the phone around a little bit, but I can't just unannounced go into the science lab where people are working because they might be in the middle of a meeting or doing something. But I can certainly, you know what, I have so many pictures I can put up on the Reach the World and Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants website, so you can check out some photos there. And at the end of this, I'll try and take you guys outside so I can show you what it looks like outside. Next one, Miss Islami, does IceCube project reveal anything about dark matter? Yes, it should. That is one of the things that we are trying to understand is dark matter or dark energy. And we're wondering if, so there's like 3 types of neutrinos out there. There's the electron, the muon, and the tau neutrino. So when I say types of neutrinos or flavors, it's kind of not really like chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry ice cream because those are all still the same thing. It's kind of like a ostrich, a chimpanzee, and then an elephant. Like they're just totally different. But we're wondering if there's maybe a 4th neutrino out there, the sterile neutrino, and maybe that has something to do with dark matter. There's a lot of questions we're asking that we don't know the answer to, but certainly finding more about dark matter is one of them. Okay, yes, Jesse is wondering if we can take a shot at going outside. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, keep the questions coming. I can also ramble on forever about the subject of Antarctica because I love this place. But yeah, do you guys have any more questions for me?
Couple
How
more.
does your work connect to what CERN is doing? It is somewhat related, especially because we have some scientists that are working with IceCube that have previously worked at CERN, developing models and computer programming languages. So we are all particle physics, but we are able to have a bigger butterfly net, if you will, to detect these really elusive particles. So we're looking for different types of particles that CERN would be looking for than what we are looking for here, which is mostly neutrinos. Couple more questions.
Ooh.
Yeah, what else have you guys got?
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just still so buzzed because last night we started drilling. That was the first hole. We've got 7 to do. And last night we got water in the system, pressurized it, everything is going well, and we lowered the drill head with a weight stack down the hole. I got some great photos. I wish the internet was better, but I guess it's at the bottom of the world. You guys are gonna have to check out the website. But yeah, we started drilling. So we have about 54 hours to drill once this hole is done. And then the whole thing will freeze up. And those detectors will be in the ice for approximately forever. So a little bit of a time crunch, but we will get the hole drilled, and then the install team will come in and they'll deploy the instruments and these detectors, lowering them on this cable. So I think it's going to be about 36 hours or so to drill, maybe a little bit more, and then the install team will have, I think, another 40 hours or so to get this done. So if you check back in like 4 days time, we could have deployed our first string. Holy smokes, what a Christmas present that could end up being. That'd be pretty awesome. Next question we've got is, what drives your passion for educating people about this continent? I love the fact that the Antarctic is an international space for scientists. There's no prime minister or president or chancellor. It's just completely dedicated to peace and science. It's a continent that is 1.5 times the size of America, 52 times the size of New Zealand, and the whole entire place is dedicated to peace and science. we don't have anything else like that in the world, where scientists will be like, hey, I have a airstrip. Hey, I have a boat. Hey, what are you doing for this science? Can we come over? Like, what are you doing with this research? Just absolute total international collaboration, unprecedented in a way that I've ever seen. So I love telling people about that and telling them that the biggest science laboratory in the world is down at the bottom of it at Antarctica. So that's really what drives my passion. And I love learning about things, especially things we don't know the answers to, and we don't know that it'll get us better cell phone reception or Gore-Tex jackets, but we will ask questions and learn about this world. And I think that's a really important fundamental question, is to just continue to stay curious. And that's really what IceCube is doing, and all these projects down at the bottom of the world is trying to understand our place in it, understand how we're changing it, what's going on with climate change, where do we fit in this bigger global context. How does AI play a role in how any part of your work right now at all? Right now, not so much. We are thinking on the fly, and we need all sorts of people, from engineers to computer programmers and coders to mechanics, safety officers, big the D953 operators. So any of these big fancy fleet ops, it's really taking all different types of people to do this. And AI can't drive a tractor. AI can't look at a code and understand what we're doing. And AI can't do outreach and talk to kids right now. So at the moment, there's not a whole lot of AI that is working right now. We just really need human brain power. Okay. Any more questions? And it sounds like Jesse will send them to me afterwards. One last one. Are there any chances high school students can take a visit or do an internship there in the summer? Oh gosh. The short answer is no. But 70% of the people who come here are support staff for the scientists. But there are a few that are 20 years old, but really you've got to at least be done with high school to come down here. You could get a job as a support staff if that was something you wanted to do earlier in your career. Or if you go to grad school, you can come down and help support the scientists. There's lots of different programs that take grad students down here. So if you keep studying and stay in the STEM and do something with science or technology, then you could come down as a scientist. But as I was saying, we need truck drivers and electricians and carpenters and plumbers and IT. Any job you could imagine needs to happen here, even janitors and dishwashers and cooks. Oh my gosh, the cook is the most important person on station. But there's lots of different ways that you can get here. But I think you need to at least be done with high school, unless you want to come as a tourist, and that is very expensive. And I don't know that I fully understand coming to the South Pole as a tourist, because it's flat and it's white and it's boring. Like, come here to support science. That's the reason you want to do astronomy here at the South Pole. So that's what I would say, is keep studying in the STEM department and apply for a job to come down here. Okay, are you guys ready to go outside? I
Yes.
can't see any of you, so I don't know if this will work. Maybe I can fiddle with this. I always have to have my radio with me in case anything goes down as an emergency, or sometimes there's other announcements, but let's see if this will work. I'm gonna close out the chat. Okay, I think I can see you guys now. Can I flip this around?
Maybe.
Camera, back camera. Oh, is that working? Can you guys see?
No. Oh, yes. Yes. Yep. Yes. We can.
Awesome. Okay.
Cool.
All right, let's see if we can go. Going out the hallway. This was just a boring office room. You wouldn't know I was here except for the map on the wall. Out into the hallway. So there's lots of cool pictures on the wall. Did you guys know that unicycling was really popular at the South Pole? Yeah, turns out it is. Here's the old geographic South Pole sign. So there's a new one out there now. And we can go out these doors. It's a conference room. Ooh, did you know that Amundsen arrived at the South Pole on December 14th? So we recently celebrated the anniversary. And Scott doesn't arrive here till January, but this is back in 1912. Yes. All right, so now we're going out these big double doors. You guys still with me? Okay. Great. Just check the chat. Jesse said you can. Good thing it's like -30. I told you it was t-shirt weather, so I don't even have to put on any more clothes to go outside. Okay, so this is from the
Oh, let's see. Fingers crossed, people.
about
Oh,
their journey. Oh, actually, I totally just lied to you. That's the Heavy Science Traverse. Spot came here last week, and HST came this week, and they brought us some even more supplies. So instead of flying supplies here to the South Pole, they drive them, and it's actually so efficient. And you can see off in the distance, like right there, that is some of the other telescopes. So that's the South Pole Telescope and MAPO, BICEP are out there. And over there, that's where I feel like I live, at the IceCube drill camp. And you can see there's the IceCube lab, and it's about a K away. Oh, what's going on here? There's a big tractor coming up.
can't believe we're live at the South Pole right now, by the way. This is totally surreal and very, very cool.
By the sounds of it.
So neat. Look at that.
So fleet ops, those are big bladders filled with fuel. So that might have been something that HST, Heavy Science Traverse, brought us. Yeah. And over there is RF. So that's the radio domes where we do our communications. And there's the fuels barn and a bunch of other buildings. So yeah, that's just what it looks like at the bottom of the world. Okay. All right, great. You guys can see, this is awesome. I'm so glad that this is working.
We're so glad too,
Yeah,
Sarah.
so this is me outside at the South Pole. Good thing it's not cold, only -30. And you can see the IceCube lab is back there. So I'm gonna go inside right now. But did you guys get a good look at the outside at the South Pole? Pretty cool, huh?
Good. So good. Yes. Yes. What a way to end 2025. I love
because
it.
if you slam them and people are sleeping, you get told off. Okay. Yeah, it is really beautiful. It is like flat and white, but it's pretty incredible. And the colors that you can see, especially when the sun sets, but that doesn't happen until September. Any last messages before we wrap up? I'm really glad you guys enjoyed this. Please check out the blog so I can show you some more pictures and see what's going on. And stay tuned. Like, we just got to the most exciting part. We just started drilling. So over the next couple of days, we potentially, fingers crossed, all going well, are going to be installing the first 100 or so of these detectors that we want to install this summer. So this is what we've all been preparing for. We've been down here for about 6 weeks, but people have been preparing for this for years, coming down over the summer, getting gear ready and doing all the paperwork and getting the proposals and making sure we have all the gear and ordering it. So everything is kind of culminating right now. So this is the most exciting part to follow along with. And I hope you guys are going on holiday right now, but don't let that stop you from learning, because you never want to let your education get in the way of your schooling. And read about things that you're curious about, whether it's the Antarctica or space or climate change, geology, earthquakes at the South Pole. I never stop learning. I hope you never stop learning, and pick up a book and be curious over these holidays and enjoy your families and eat some fresh fruit and pet a dog.
I'm going to go get my dog right now, Sarah. Eat a strawberry. Thank you so, so much. What an amazing program to wrap up 2025. We began the year in Antarctica in the dry valleys with Abby Diaz. We wrap up with you live at the South Pole. That is the first time we've ever had a live on camera at the South Pole ever. What a thrill. Thank you so, so much. On behalf of Reach the World, who's partnering with us on this amazing series. Again, Sarah said, check out the blog. There's so much more to explore and discover there. I just want to say on behalf of us at Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants, it's been a thrill having you on all year. We can't wait to have you back in 2026, and we'll be having Sarah on many more times. For now, have a wonderful rest of the day, and see y'all soon.